Have you ever dated someone and thought, this feels so wrong, but here I am anyway? Don't worry, you're not starring in your own romantic comedy gone wrong, you're just human. Many of us have a knack for attracting the wrong partners, almost like we're using a dating app that only matches us with walking red flags. But fear not. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to uncover the psychological traps that lead us astray in love. At the heart of this mystery are our past experiences, attachment styles, and that pesky thing called self-esteem. For example, if you have an anxious attachment style, you might be drawn to partners who make you feel like you're constantly auditioning for their attention. Talk about exhausting. Or if your self-worth is taking a nap, you might settle for relationships that are about as fulfilling as an empty pizza box. But here's the plot twist. Understanding why we attract these less than stellar partners is the key to breaking the cycle. By recognizing these psychological traps, we can finally change the channel on our love lives and start a new series, one with healthier connections and maybe even a happily ever after. So if you're ready to play psychological sleuth and discover the hidden forces at play in your love life, grab your metaphorical magnifying glass and let's get started. Let's talk about psychological traps, those sneaky little buggers that mess with our love lives like a mischievous Cupid with a faulty arrow. These are unconscious patterns of thought and behavior that have us making choices like we're stuck in a romantic Groundhog Day, repeating the same mistakes faster than we can say, never again. If you keep finding yourself dating the human equivalent of a lukewarm cup of coffee, unsatisfying and a bit bitter, you might be caught in one of these traps. Take the savior complex, for instance. It's like you're the lead in a superhero movie, but instead of saving the world, you're trying to rescue partners who didn't even ask for help. Spoiler alert, this often leads to one person feeling like Atlas carrying the world and the other lounging around like it's a free ride. You might keep choosing emotionally unavailable partners, thinking you can change them with the power of your love. Newsflash, you're not a wizard, Harry. Then there's the fear of intimacy, which is like being afraid of puppies because they might one day grow into dogs. You meet someone amazing but then pull a Houdini, disappearing faster than free donuts in an office break room. This fear can leave you binge-watching shows alone instead of sharing popcorn with someone who actually texts back. But here's the good news. Recognizing these psychological traps is like finding the secret cheat code in the game of love. Once you see the patterns, you can start making choices that don't end with you face-palming and swearing off dating apps. So grab a snack, and let's delve deeper into these traps so you can navigate your love life with the confidence of someone who actually reads the terms and conditions, but way more exciting. Attracting the wrong partners isn't just bad luck. It's like having a secret magnet that pulls in people who make you question your life choices. One classic pattern is seeking validation through romantic connections, kind of like using relationships as a personal Yelp review. If you're struggling with self-esteem, you might find yourself dating partners who treat you like the Wi-Fi in a coffee shop, used when convenient and ignored when not needed. You mistake their occasional nods of attention for love, leading to a cycle that's about as satisfying as a vending machine snack when you're starving. Then there's the repetition compulsion, a fancy term for rewatching the same bad movie expecting a different ending. Unresolved issues from childhood or past relationships can sneakily influence your current choices. It's like your subconscious is running its own TV network, playing reruns of Dramatic Relationships, the series. If you grew up in a household where the dinner table resembled a reality show reunion, you might think that love has to come with a side of chaos. Spoiler, it doesn't. Let me tell you about Sarah. She kept dating emotionally unavailable men. You know, the type who respond to texts as frequently as a solar eclipse. After some soul-searching, she realized she was subconsciously choosing men who reminded her of her distant father. Once she had that aha moment, she swapped the emotional roller coasters for someone who actually showed up. What a concept. Understanding these patterns is like finally getting the instructions for that confusing piece of IKEA furniture called love life. By identifying and addressing these behaviors, you can assemble a relationship that's sturdy, balanced, and doesn't leave you with extra emotional screws lying around. Now let's dive into some psychological theories. Don't worry, we won't make you take a pop quiz at the end. First up is attachment theory, which is like the origin story of your relationship habits. Think of it as the prequel to your dating life that explains why you act the way you do. If you have a secure attachment style, congrats. You're like the unicorn of the dating world. For the rest of us, mere mortals with anxious or avoidant styles, Relationships can feel like navigating a minefield in roller skates. For example, if you're anxiously attached, you might find yourself dating emotionally unavailable partners, kind of like ordering a sandwich with no filling. You're left hungry and wondering why you keep choosing bread-only relationships. It's the gift that keeps on not giving. Then there's projection, which is basically psychological ventriloquism. You throw your own feelings and insecurities onto someone else, making them say things they never said. If you fear abandonment, you might interpret your partner's perfectly normal need for personal space as them plotting their escape to a deserted island without you. As we explore these theories, it's a great time to have a little chat with yourself. Maybe over a cup of tea or a pint of ice cream, no judgment here. Consider how your attachment style might be influencing your tendency to date people who think communication is a four-letter word, or how projection might have you reading between the lines of a text that simply says, "talk later." By shining a light on these psychological gremlins, we can start making choices that lead to relationships worthy of a rom-com ending, minus the cheesy soundtrack. All right, so you're ready to break the cycle and stop dating people who make you want to fake your own kidnapping. Fantastic! But how do you do it? Well, it starts with self-awareness, kind of like realizing you've been walking around with spinach in your teeth for years. Time to look in the metaphorical mirror. Start by engaging in self-reflection. Maybe journal about your past relationships. Yes, even that one you pretend never happened. Write down the traits you keep falling for, like mysterious loner or charming but jobless. Once you see the pattern, you can start aiming for emotionally available with a steady income. Aim high. Setting boundaries is your next power move. Think of boundaries as the bouncers at the VIP club of your life. They keep out the riffraff and ensure only the worthy get in. Learn to spot red flags early on, like when they say their exes are all crazy or they don't believe in labels after 6 months of dating. Trust your gut, unless it's telling you to text your ex at 2 a.m. Then maybe get a snack instead. Don't forget personal growth. This is your montage moment. Take up hobbies, join clubs, maybe even try that salsa class you've been eyeing. Not only will this boost your self-esteem, but it also reduces the time you have to overthink that last text message. And if you're dealing with deeper issues, consider seeing a therapist. Think of them as a personal trainer for your emotional well-being. They'll help you navigate through your past like a pro, so you don't keep tripping over the same hurdles. Remember, breaking the cycle isn't like switching shampoo brands. It takes time and effort. But with commitment and the right strategies, you can pave the way to relationships that don't make you question your life choices every other Tuesday. So there you have it. We've journeyed through the labyrinth of psychological traps and relationship patterns that can make your love life feel like a never-ending sitcom, minus the laugh track. We've chatted about how attachment styles and projection can turn dating into an episode of unsolved mysteries. But now, with these insights, you're equipped to spot the plot twists before they happen. We've also shared some actionable tips to help you break the cycle, like becoming more self-aware, no magic mirror required, setting healthy boundaries, think of yourself as a castle with a moat, and recognizing red flags. If it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Remember, understanding and improving your relationship choices is like learning to cook. It might get messy, and you might burn a few things, but eventually you'll whip up something wonderful. Maybe your next relationship will be the gourmet meal you've been craving, not the stale leftovers you've been settling for. If you enjoyed this video and had a chuckle or two, why not join our community of relationship explorers? Hit that subscribe button for more insights, tips, and maybe a few bad jokes, no promises. And don't forget to like and share this video with friends who could use a little guidance, or at least a good laugh, in their love lives. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Your support helps us keep creating content to empower and entertain you on your journey to healthier relationships. Until next time, keep being fabulous, and may your love life be ever in your favor.